And I was really pleased to hear that you were given the opportunity to take on this challenge, because we need someone that's young, energetic, knowledgeable, and has strong leadership skills. Those things are components that we need at a coaching level. So many coaches that coach hockey BS their way through, and our old school coaches that just been there forever. And I think the sport is evolving and changing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think there are I stopped playing. It's about 10 years ago now,
Right.
a little less. But even from when I stopped playing, it's changed. From what I remember in junior, because I stopped playing junior in 2010, so that was 10 years ago, and I went on to play college after that. But when I stopped playing junior, you could still fight twice a game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right, and then
Sean and I have that conversation all the time.
Yeah, so guys would fight, go to the penalty box, come back out, fight again, hit the showers, and they'd be able to play next game.
Right.
The rules in terms of just what you're able to do to a player who has possession of the puck in terms of hook, slash, do things like that have changed drastically. Even the hockey culture is, I think, currently kind of just going through a massive shift in terms of...
Well, it's skill-based now.
Yeah, skill-based.
It really is.
Yeah, and so that is contributing to different people having just better ideas, I think. And those old school guys, I don't think they really have a leg to stand on anymore. I think the way you treat players, especially young players these days, is drastically different than the way I was treated in junior. And I wasn't mistreated in junior.
But it's still drastically different.
It's still drastically
different. And that's only
different.
10 years ago.
Yeah. It's still drastically different. I mean, even if this is the way I look at it in terms of the difference between when I played and now when I'm coaching, is if you asked a question of the coach when I played, I mean, that was a big
taboo.
That was a big deal.
It was.
You were like, oh man, this guy's taking his life in his own hands right
Absolutely.
now. Right now, if you ask a question, and I encourage kids to ask questions.
It's the only way you learn.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't understand our system at the deepest level, then you're not going to be able to do it night in, night out.
I agree.
So if you don't ask questions and you don't understand what you're supposed to do in a situation, then that's my fault for not teaching it properly, right? And it's also your fault for not asking the question, right? But it's not. I don't look at questions as a bad thing anymore. I look at them as a positive thing, because it also means that they're engaged.
Engaged and growing.
Yeah, and so
they're learning.
Yeah,
so.
Those are all positive things in my outlook. So it's just just little things like that, I think, are totally different and contribute to the way that you do day-to-day business as a coach with your players.
Well, I mean, in that situation as a coach, when a player approaches you and they know they can approach you, they're going to respect you more. They're going to be more willing to bring things to you, whether it's an idea or a discipline issue with the team, because they have a better relationship with you. Some coaches back in the day would just totally separate themselves from the guys. They just coach the game.
Right.
Really, you're coaching people, and we talked about it earlier off camera, but coaching is mentoring.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, and I think back in the day, a lot of coaches, I'm not saying all coaches, because there were some really good coaches too, but, like one guy that comes to mind in the NHL was Iron Mike,
Right.
There was the kind of coach that really, fit that mold at that time. And I really believe it's the evolution of coaching has changed so dramatically, not just in hockey, but in sports in general.
Yeah. I think it's become a lot more academic too. I mean, like, if you think about guys that are coaching and reading different things, like you said, we talked about it before when we were off camera about just the amount of books that both of us read and things. I mean, I just finished Berkey's Law about Brian Burke. I thought that was fantastic, but I'm also reading stuff, strength and conditioning stuff. You're also reading things about different tactics. I mean, I read a great book from the former assistant coach, or I think he was assistant coach with the Toronto Marlies. He just wrote a book on hockey tactics. I mean, there's things like that are just great to digest, and you just keep moving forward. Like, you want to constantly come up with with new ideas. I think to keep the guys engaged and also make sure that you're not falling behind in terms of your own development as a coach.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at the situation, you can't hire every high performance thinker or consultant to come to your home every day.
Right.
You just don't have it in your budget. Even as a team, you don't have it in your budget. So picking up a book for $22.95 and reading every page of it, then highlighting and circling and arrowing and writing notes in that book. I always tell you can read a book or you can study a book.
Right.
And I always encourage people to read a book 2 or 3 times. The first time, just read it.
Yeah.
Second time, sit down with it and highlight it.
Yeah.
And then the last time is study it. Take what you want from it and put it into your repertoire, put it into your knowledge base. The better coach you want to become, the more you want to learn from people, and take from them what you like and incorporate it into your style.
Yeah. I always read with a highlighter. Just highlight stuff.
100%
is super interesting
because you won't remember it.
No,
if you just read it once and put it away, you might remember one sentence or one paragraph.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to spend time with it, especially if you really want to get something from it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, it's Michael here with the weekly Woodcast. Just want to remind you to like and hit that subscribe button down below. Really helps out the channel, and we thank you guys so much for watching each week. Thanks.